If you've been watching the channel for very long, you know that I think it's really, really important that if you have a firearm or any other valuables, but especially a firearm in your vehicle, that you have a way to secure it and keep it from prying hands, both little ones and criminal ones. So we've looked at several different options on the channel for vehicle security so far. And today we're going to take a look at the Tuffy Underseat box that goes under the rear seat of a truck. In this case, it's my Ford F-150, but they make these for a lot of different trucks. We're going to take a look at this thing and show you how easy it is to install, hopefully, coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for trustworthy information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me. And as I said, I think if you're going to keep a firearm in the vehicle, even for short periods of time, it needs to be secured, both from little prying hands and from maybe larger criminal prying hands. And Tuffy Security Products is one of the top names in the vehicle security industry. So we've looked, like I said, looked at several different options before, but this is one that goes full size under the rear seat of, in this case, my Ford F-150. But they make these for almost every major truck brand, and they're not cheap. It's around $400 or so. But like I said, they have a really good reputation in the vehicle security industry. Very well made. It says they're designed and engineered in the USA. I'm not sure where they're manufactured. Doesn't really say on here, but usually that means they're manufactured somewhere other than the USA. But I don't know. But this is a USA company. But anyway, these were highly recommended by everybody I talked to and everywhere I looked online. So I'll stop rambling. We're gonna first we'll show you the installation on this, and we're gonna do this kind of like I've done. I like to do things sometimes. I didn't become an expert on this. We're gonna doofus our way through this together. So if there's anything that's hard, then you'll see it with me. I don't think it's gonna be. I kind of glanced at the instructions. It looks pretty simple. But if I look like a doofus, then so be it. But and then we'll talk about the features of this thing, and we'll see how well stuff works in it. So let's get to it. Oh, but first, here's a quick word from this video's sponsor. Hey, I just want to jump in here real quick and let you know that if you want to save a lot of money on the kind of things you and I buy already and help support the channel, one of the best ways to do that right now is to go to survivalonpurpose.com/BDU and get yourself a Big Daddy Unlimited membership. When you do that, not only are you going to be able to get the best prices I've been able to find anywhere on things with barrels and things with blades and other cool things, but they'll also throw a couple of bucks my way for introducing you. And the way Big Daddy Unlimited works is it is a membership site, so they can sell stuff below the minimum advertised pricing that most retail stores can't. And the membership is just 10 bucks a month or 99 bucks a year. But again, if you go to survivalonpurpose.com/BDU, you can get your first 30-day membership for just 99 cents. Try it and see if it makes sense for you. I've been a member for a couple of years now because it definitely makes sense for me. So anyway, again, that's survivalonpurpose.com/BDU. I think you'll be glad you did. Okay, we're back, and I want to just kind of show you what comes with the box and then what we're going to need to install the box. So first of all, it comes with these two brackets right here. Can you see these? I know the lighting is horrible here. I got the other doors open to try to increase the lighting. These two thumb screw bolts are going to be used for mounting. Two carriage bolts, little carriage bolts. They have the square slot on them. We have 4 washers and one other bolt, regular bolt, and a washer. This is an optional part of the optional thing. And then you're also going to need one 18mm socket ratchet and one large screwdriver. As far as the installation goes, the first step is to remove these 2 corner seat bolts. There's one on this corner and one on the other corner. They're 18mm. Just take them out, and we're going to reuse those in just a minute. So I'm going to get on the other side where I'm not blocking the camera, and you can see me what I'm doing. See me what I'm doing. How you like that grammar? You can see what I'm doing. So like I said, we're going to take this corner seat belt out. Corner seat bolt. 1 letter difference between belt and bolt. Corner seat bolt here. We're totally out. And we're going to put it right back in, so don't put it too far away. Then this bracket is going to be the one that bolts to the back of the box, and it's going to go like kind of like that. So you want to pry this out just enough to get this in it. Use a big screwdriver, Stick this in there. Almost had a doofus moment here. Before you do that, take the carriage bolt, stick it in the slot here like so that it has room to move back and forth, because you're gonna need that adjustment. And what that's gonna do when you put this in, it's gonna pin it against this carpet, and that way it won't fall out, and it'll be a whole lot easier to deal with things when it's time to put the box in. So let's go ahead and see if we can pry that up enough. Like so, about like that. Just get it in there. That's gonna give you enough room to put the slot in there. Now, put the bolt back in. And you can see this bolt has some room to move around. It's gonna give you a little bit of adjustment. So we'll put this back in, and we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other corner. Okay, I got ahead of myself just a little bit. I just read the instructions, and it says before I tighten these bolts here down, to test fit this thing and make sure these bolts line up right. So we're gonna keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully this is not gonna be a doofus moment. And by the way, I don't know why I keep saying we. I'm doing this, not you. So I don't like it when a waitress or waiter go to a restaurant and the server's like, what are we having tonight? I'm thinking, I don't know, are you eating too? Anyway, I digress. Let's test fit this thing, and hopefully we won't have a doofus moment here. So the next step's gonna be just to go ahead and put her in place. She's a little bit heavy. And I don't know if you noticed, but I've got already a small lockbox bolted to the floor. Probably gonna pull it up after I get this one in. But what we're trying to do is make sure, here it is again. What I'm trying to do, or you'll be trying to do if you do this, is make sure that these bolts line up with these slots in the back. And they look like they might be a little high, so. The other thing we got to make sure is there's a gap where the split seat is, and I'll take you to the other side and show you that. So we got to make sure it's lined up that way too. So we do. I keep doing it, so just forgive me. Anyway, let's do that. Okay, I took you off the tripod. As you can see, the bolts are just a little bit too high. That's as low as they'll go. So I got to get them down about 1/4 inch. So I'm going to loosen this nut up here and try to swivel this bracket down here. This one just a little bit. Okay, so you can see now the bolt is down in the correct height for the slot, and basically all I did for that was I just loosened this nut right here, that one right there, and tapped the top of this bracket down with my ratchet handle just enough, and now we can tighten these back up. However, before I tighten these up, I'm going to go ahead and put a nut and a washer on the inside here, just kind of hold it in place, because the carpet has to compress up here for this, and so when I get one side on here, the other side wants to back off that way. So I'm just going to kind of get them started, leave enough slack so that I can slide it back and forth this way, so that I can make sure that the seats all work with a split seat. Okay, so here with the miracle of modern light, there was one thumb nut, the other thumb nut on the other side, and it's still loose enough where I can slide it back and forth a little bit. So I'm going to double check, make sure the split seat is right, and then tighten down these bolts on either side, and we'll be done. Okay, can you see me way over here? So as I said, we've got everything's it's got enough room to slide back and forth here a little bit. I just want to get it kind of in the center between the two seats. Make sure that with this one up, the seat still works and doesn't rub against it or hit it or anything. And then we'll lift this one up, close this one, make sure this seat doesn't rub, and that looks fine. So now we just tighten up these thumb nuts and just get them as tight as you can. And that's going to be what really secures this box in here. Now, if you want added security, you can drill a hole in your floorboard and take one of these pre-drilled holes that are here. There's several pre-drilled holes in here on each corner or whatever, and put another bolt or multiple bolts and washers and nuts through there. But the fact that these are all connected and you can't get to them except from the inside, I think this is probably going to be sufficient. I mean, certainly nothing is foolproof, but this is way better than leaving it under the seat. Okay, so here's the underseat box, and let's talk about the dimensions of this thing. And that is Kuma, the wonder dog up here, raising Cain. I don't know why. The interior dimension, this thing is 55¼ inches long by 13¼ inches front to back this way, and it is interior. It's going to be 4½ inches. Actually, under the rail, we've got 3½, so 3½ to 4 inches because there's a center support here, height in the back, and 6½ to 7 inches at the front. Okay, so let's take a look at the locking mechanism. First of all, you can see that this is the lock. I don't know what you call it, but that's the part that turns and slides through both of these slots and hooks around this slot here. So really serious heavy-duty metal. That's about an 1/8 of an inch thick on both sides, welded very well. So it's got really 3 points of contact. It's going to be contacted here, here, and here. And the long lid has 2 locks, and the short one has 1. Also has like a little rubber seal here on the front, just a cushion, and very solid feel. And if you notice, the seats go really well. So it looks like that old box there is going to have to go away because it's been bugging me anyway. Okay, well, that was a hopefully reasonably coherent look at both the specs and the installation of the Tuffy rear seat underseat box for a full-size truck, and just kind of show you what it looks like installed. That's, if you can see that, that's what you're going to see. It doesn't interfere with the seats at all. There you go. So a couple of pros and cons about this thing. The pros, it's very solid 16-gauge steel, very well made, really solid lockup, and really easy to install. Super easy, really. If you're not making a video, you can probably do it in 15 minutes. And it gives you a whole lot of storage that is lockable and secure. So there are a couple of cons, I think, maybe. First of all, that does stick out there, and it does kind of limit your access. It cuts down about 3 inches on your access to get into the back seat. So that's something to be aware of. It also is visible if you got your door open. You really can't see it too well looking in the windows. But the biggest con for me is if you like to raise your seats up and put stuff back there, it's going to interfere with your storage space. It's going to take up some of that space. Now, certainly you can stick stuff on top of it. It's strong enough to hold it, so that's okay. But it definitely will cut down on some of your flat floor space with the seats up. The other thing that I wish it had with it, and it doesn't, is some sort of padding or cushion or foam in the bottom of it. That's easily remedied with a piece of foam or carpet or something, but it's just straight metal. So, you know, if you put something in there, it's going to slide around. But again, pretty easily remedied with just some foam or some carpet or whatever. The other thing to be aware of is, like, this is not a quick access safe. So if you need to get to something in there quickly, you're going to have to have the keys, and it's going to have to take 2 keys to do the big side. So, but again, that's a pro for me because it's also really long. So if you got something you need quicker access to, you can put it maybe on the other side, put a little divider in there. Kuma, be quiet. You can customize this thing however you want. Is basically what I'm saying. So anyway, that's it. Again, they make these for a lot of different vehicles. I'll put links below to where I found them, and hopefully this is helpful. Again, whatever method you use, just say this with me. Remember, my vehicle is not a holster, okay? So just make sure you take care of that and don't leave guns in your vehicle. So, or any other important stuff. So anyway, I'll stop rambling now. I really appreciate you watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.